Hello students, welcome to our next video. In the previous all the videos we have discussed much more about the PLC, right? Its block diagram, its uses, applications, some examples, right? And what are the instructions can be used as input to the PLC, okay? So in this video lecture, I'll discuss more about its structure, right? PLC structure, how it actually flows. I'll discuss again what is actually the what actually is the PLC, means how actually the PLC looks like. Okay, so this is the block diagram of PLC. Okay, these are the inputs. Okay, let's see the whole block diagram. Okay, so this is the block diagram, right? Input module is there, CPU is there, output module is there, programming device, power supply, output devices. Okay, so this is the basic structure. And the first one is the input devices. Which are the input devices which can we can provide to the input module? These are the switches, push buttons, sensors, encoders, etc. These are the inputs from which we can give the inputs. Second one is the input module. So input module is the most important because of this input module only we actually takes the input from the unknown sources, right? From which the process which we want to control, okay, through that inputs are taken directly to the input module. Okay, so it is of different kinds. Okay, according to the supply, right? AC, DC input modules are there. Okay, so we will discuss this input module further. Then after that the main part is the CPU, right? The processor, in which actually the main process takes place, actually the execution of the program takes place. Actually CPU contains memory, right? Memory and a processor. In memory there are actually two types of memory: data memory and a program memory. The data memory is actually the data which we will be providing to the CPU will be stored in the data memory, and the program memory in which we will actually write down the program in program memory. Means if the process if we want to control any process, okay, so that process program is stored in program memory, okay, and a processor. Okay, so this is the basic CPU. Okay, next one is the output module. What is the output module? It is similar to the input module, but in output module we will connect many devices through which the process is to be controlled. Okay, so output module is also a most important device. It is also classified in analog and digital type. Okay, the output devices might be contactor, relays, lamp, motors, etc. Okay, any kind of electrical load device. Next one is the programming device. Okay, this is also the important part. Programming device, which actually in which the programmer or the user, suppose I am the operator or I am the programmer, I can write the program in this programming device. Okay, basically this whole PLC is like our normal home computer. Okay, but it is in different types. Okay, it can perform discrete functions. Okay, so the power supply is also important. Okay, so we will discuss its block diagram, how much power supply is required. Okay, so this actually is the basic PLC block diagram. If you were asked in exam that draw block diagram of PLC, then please draw this diagram. Okay, so basically input modules are actually means according to the analog and digital, AC analog, okay, DC discrete types are also there. Okay, AC DC types are there. Okay, so there are actually input modules. Okay, so it is actually divided into various types, like according to the voltage, like 230 volt, 120 volt and 24 volt AC or DC. Okay, so why actually it is input module is given as input module name. Module, what is the meaning of module? Module is actually the modular. It is a modular PLC, or it can be fixed PLC or a modular PLC. In modular, if it is a modular PLC, then we can actually increase the input and output. Okay, so according to the inputs and outputs, the PLC is classified. So if we are using, actually the PLC is a digital device, right? Digital device. It can understand only 1 0 stop, run, this type of language. Okay, so we should convert the analog input into digital output, okay, of the input provided at the input module. Okay, so there will be some A to D converter which can convert analog value into digital value. Okay, so what are the input modules, input devices which can be used? There are sensors, right? We have limit switches are there, temperature limit switch, pressure limit switch. Okay, and manual switches are there, and the timers, counters, etc. Okay, next one is the CPU. Okay, this is the central processing unit. Okay, like our normal home PC. It processes all the operations of the PLC, right? It actually performs all the processes of the PLC. It stores the user, okay, it stores the user program in the memory. Okay, user program which we will be writing. It manages the operating system. Okay, it also manages the operating system. It stores the status of input signal. It stores the signal of input signal received at the input terminal into data memory, right? So these are the CPU performs the application of 3 scans. Okay, namely CPU performs 3 scans: input scan, okay, program scan, and the output scan. Initially, before processing this all the process, okay, before processing, actually CPU performs self-diagnosis. Okay, remember this point, for safety reason. Okay, so word size, also the word size of the PLC will be from 4 byte to 16 byte. Okay, so now we will focus on the memory portion. Okay, what are the different types of memory? Okay, so there are actually 2 types of memory: ROM and RAM. Okay, ROM, what is ROM? ROM is read only memory. According to the name only, read only, it actually only reads the memory. Okay, it is a permanent memory used to store operating system, right? In our PLC also, in our home PC also, we use operating system, right? So it is not actually stored in external device, right? It is actually stored in internal memory of the PC only. So it is also it is a permanent memory used to store operating system and some fixed amount of data. Okay, remember this point. ROM. What next one is the RAM. What is RAM? RAM is random access memory. It is used for users program, right? So if user want to write any program, that user can write in program memory. Okay, so RAM is also divided into groups, different groups for timers, counters. So separate memory is used. Okay, so this is the memory portion. Okay, and RAM is also a volatile memory. Okay, means what is a volatile memory? Volatile memory is actually the memory in which if any kind of power failure occurs and the user has written his program in that RAM memory, then what will happen? If sudden switch off happens, power went off, then that memory might be loosed or can be erased. So for that reason, a separate battery backup is provided to the RAM. Okay, next one is the now we will use programming device. Okay, it is a communication between user and PLC, right? Programming device actually it is used for communication between user and PLC. Okay, so we saw that the CPU, after checking the input condition, okay, after checking the input condition, CPU, after checking the input condition, will scan the program to decide which output have to be switched on and off. Okay, so this program has to be given to the memory to store in there. Okay, programming device. So this is programmed and sent to the memory using a component called programmer. Okay, so programmer do actually all the programming. Next one is the output module. So this is also the important. Output module is connected to the output devices. Okay, it is actually connected to the output device. The number of output devices will be depend on the type of process. Okay, so it completely depends on the type of process. Output devices are switched on and off by the PLC. Okay, so output device can be switched on and switched off, which is controlled by the PLC. Okay, so output devices are like relay coils are there. Okay, relay coils are there, motors are there, solenoids are there, timers are there, right? Some more examples: indicating lamps are there, alarms are there. Okay, so these are some output devices which can be used. And some voltage conditions means some of the voltage which can be used as an output. Okay, in real world output are 10 to 120 volt AC, 0 to 24 volt DC, 4 to 20 milliampere in terms of current, or 0 to 10 volt. And thermocouples are also can be used as an output. Okay, the next one is the power supply. Okay, now we will see. Okay, so you can read this. Okay, so the next one is the power supply. So what is power supply? How much actually the power supply is needed for the PLC? Okay, so before proceeding, we will look the block diagram of power supply, how actually the power is transferred to the PLC. Okay, so first one is the AC line end voltage. Like suppose if we are considering an AC, then AC line voltage is transferred to the power transformer. Okay, what will power transformer will do? Transformer will step down the line voltage to a certain limit. Okay, let's suppose actually the PLC works on 24 volt supply. Okay, so this 24 volt line voltage, actually the PLC operates on DC voltage, right? So it is still AC, step down AC voltage. So this is converted into DC by diode rectifier with the help of switching, right? Then the output of the DC rectifier, diode rectifier circuit will be pulsating DC, right? It not actually the pure DC. So we have to remove this unwanted part with the help of filter circuit. The unfiltered circuit will remove the unwanted part. Okay, and the regulator is connected, which regulates and it keeps the voltage at a constant voltage. Okay, regulated DC voltage is given to the load. So this is the normally power supply. Okay, so basically 230 volt is taken, right? And the next one is the most important classification, right? Input output modules, as we have seen. Input module is this, right? And the output module is this. So these are actually further classified. Okay, input output modules. So first one is the serial input output, right? So the inputs can be taken, inputs and output both can be taken as serially. Okay, both input and outputs can be taken as parallel. Discrete input, okay, in the form of digital analog form input output and special input output, right? So remember, this input output modules are divided into 4 or 5 parts: serial input output, parallel input output, discrete input output, and analog input output, and special input output. Okay, so input output modules are basically mainly two types, right? Discrete input output, and analog input output, right? So discrete means digital form. Discrete input outputs are divided into two types: input and output, right? So inputs can be taken, inputs can be taken in 4 ways, right? AC, completely AC or DC, source type, and sink type. Okay, now AC means what amount of voltage can be given through AC: 115 volt AC, 240 volt AC input, 240 volt AC isolated input. Okay, means a separate source of input can be provided, which can be 240 volt AC. Similarly, AC and DC both can be provided. Its range will be from 15 volt AC or DC, 115 volt AC or DC isolated form, to 30 volt DC or AC, to 30 volt AC DC in isolated form, to 24 volt AC or DC, right? Source type: 5 volt source, DC source, mostly it will be a battery. Okay, and 12 to 24 volt DC, remember this two. Sink type will be 5 volt DC sink, 12 volt DC sink, 12 to 24 volt DC sink, fast response 24 volt DC, 48 volt DC sync. Okay, so these are some discrete input output which are divided into 4: AC DC source sync. Similarly, analogs are actually these are the ranges, input ranges, analog and analog output. Okay, analog input are 0 to 5, 0 to 10 volt, 5 to 10 volt, 1 to 5, 4 to 20 milliampere, 1 to 25 milliampere, 1 to 5 milliampere, thermocouple, and RTD, resistive temperature detector. Okay, and the analog output, so analog outputs can be taken as 4 to 20 milliampere and 0 to 10 volt. Okay, so and also we have actually left this part: input output, discrete output. Okay, discrete outputs are AC 115 volt AC, 24 volt DC. Okay, so see this part. So this is all. This are the input and output ranges should be connected to the input modules. Okay, so remember this. If in the exam comes like this, then you can write this point. Okay. Okay, so the next one is the input module. Now we will look how actually the input module looks like and how it actually works. Okay, so this is the input module. Okay, and this is the second figure. So there are actually one common difference will be there. Actually here it is taken as one common. Okay, common is connected internally. Okay, this is the figure, this is the input module. Okay, so this there are points actually 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 to 12 points are there which are input, through which the input is connected. Okay, let's suppose that PB1 is the first and PB2 is the second input. Okay, so these are input directly connected to the input points of the input module, and these are common. These are taken one common. Okay, and in the second figure only also two commons are taken. Why two commons are taken? Means internally it is connected. Why two commons are taken? Because we can connect two separate supplies also in the input module. Okay, 8 point input A actually, but it is showing we are actually using 8 points out of 12. So okay, so discrete input module. Okay, and then the discrete AC input module. This is the discrete AC input module. Okay, we have taken 24 volt supply here. Okay, through which the PB1 and PB2. PB1, what is PB1? PB1 is the push button 1, push button 2. PB1 is the NO contact, and PB2 is the NC contact, normally closed. Okay, and secondly 230 volts is connected to PB1 input, and it is connected internally connected as a common. Okay, and PB2 is taken as a NC and its voltage range is 120 volt, and its common is also connected internally. So two commons are there. Okay, so this is also the most important block diagram of AC input module. Okay, AC input is taken, right? As AC input is taken, and this as we know that PLC is a digital device, so we have to convert this AC into DC. So bridge rectifier is connected. So bridge rectifier actually converts the AC into pulsating DC, right? Here pulsating DC. Then out through that pulsating by the pulsating DC is passed to the noise and debounce filter. Means it actually filters out the unwanted part and converts it into a DC. Okay, next one is the threshold detector. So what is threshold detector? Threshold detector actually detects the point at which the actually the process should stop. Okay, it actually detects the threshold point and then operate. Threshold detection circuitry detects whether the incoming signal has reached or exceeded a predetermined voltage level for a predetermined time. Okay, it actually detects, it is a circuit, right? Internal electrical circuit is there. It detects whether the incoming signal has reached or exceeded a predetermined value. Means we are actually giving a predetermined value. If let's suppose out of 230 volt 110 volt should be reached, so 110 will be a threshold value. After that only the process should on and off. So typical example of that off is that if the voltage is between 20 to 30 volt AC, then the state will be off, then threshold will be off. And if the voltage range is between 80 to 132 volt AC, then it will be on. Okay, so this is the threshold detection. Okay, the next one is the isolation, optical isolation. Optical isolation, it's actually an input circuit is used made up of opto-isolator. It is actually a opto-isolator. Okay, optical isolation. This is the optical isolator. Okay, this is the example why it actually is provided in the system. Let see, input module is completely isolated from the PLC, right? It is not actually physically connected. So how actually the data is transferred from input module to the PLC with the help of opto isolator. Okay. So see in this figure that one diode is there. Okay, light source is given there. So this is the light source. Okay, LED. And a photo detector. Okay, this is the photo detector. Photo detector is there. Okay, so it can be photodiode, phototransistor, photovoltaic cell. Okay, so it actually captures that photo lights. Okay, let's suppose this is the 115 volt AC input module. Its rating will be 150 volt AC input module. Module isolation separates the high voltage 110 volt AC signal from CPU. Okay, it actually this is the CPU, PLC CPU, and this is the input module. It should actually separating these two with this opto isolator. Okay, typically this will be in 18 to 5 volt. Okay, internal CPU will be of the rating 18 volt to 5 volt DC, right? And this is very high voltage, 115 volt AC. So this has to be separated. So in this way the optical isolation can provide a isolation. Okay, so isolation is accomplished by the input signal. Okay, the input signal actually energizes the LED diode, this diode. Okay, this diode is energized, which transmits a signal of light energy. After energizing, it transmits the light energy signal to the receiver in the form of photoconductive diode. Okay, here LED converts. So this LED is actually converting electrical signal to an optical signal. Okay, and a receiver usually means this electrical signal is actually converting into optical signal, and this optical energy is observed by the photoconductive diode. Okay, which convert into the LED converts the electrical signal into optical signal, and receiver usually a phototransistor. What is phototransistor? It actually convert photon energy into electrical signals, right? In this way the PLC is completely isolated with the input module, which is of high rating. That's why the optocoupler is used. Means there is not actually a physical connection. Okay, so there will be some logic section also, so in which the logics are actually provided. Okay, then okay, so this is the AC input module. Remember all the blocks. And next one is the DC input module. So it is actually exactly the same as AC input module only, but instead of bridge rectifier, right, it is already in the form of DC, right? So we do not need bridge rectifier. We directly connect power conversion, right? Pulsating DC is converted, and this is the block diagram. Okay, so this is the diagram. All the parts are same and the functions are also same. So just instead of bridge rectifier, we are directly connecting the DC. Okay, so remember, next one is the sourcing and sinking, right? Sinking, why these two terms are also important. Okay, so let's suppose a 24 volt DC power supply is given, right, and a lamp is connected with the push button in between there. So what is sourcing DC circuit? So sourcing DC circuit means, let's suppose the power supply is given. Okay, 24 volt power supply is given, then due to that current starts to flow through push button to the lamp, then lamp will load. Okay, so lamp is a load, right? Lamp is a load and 24 volt is a source, but current is first at the starting only the current is passing through push button, right? So push button act as an source, push button act as a source, and the lamp act as a sink. Okay, push button act as a source and lamp act as a sink. So that's why it is called sourcing DC circuit. Okay, switch act as a source of the current, okay, right, through which the actually the current is flowing na. So firstly the current is flowing through the push button, then it is sinking in the lamp. So it is a sourcing DC type, right? Next one is let's sinking DC circuit, right? DC supply is taken and it is directly connected to the lamp, and then it is connected to the push button. Okay, so firstly the current is traveling from which part? The lamp. Okay, and then it is passing to the push button. Then which will be the source? Source will be the lamp and push button will be the sink, right? Means current is actually traveling from this firstly, so it acts as a source. Means this part is actually providing lamp is providing supply current to the push button, right? So push button acts as a sinking DC source. Okay, then replace this lamp with the input module. Same circuit is there, just replace this in lamp with the input module in the first diagram, right? 24 volt supply. So what will be in this case? Sourcing DC input module with sinking switch. So let's say this is a switch. Okay, let's say this is a switch. So switch act as a, right, let's see the current direction, right? The plus one is given here and minus is there. So plus the current is traveling. Firstly the switch act as a source and the sink will be the push button, right? Means this input module is providing current to the push button. Similarly in the opposite case, let's change the polarity again. Plus minus given, push button is there. Then the push button act as a current source and input module act as a sink. So okay, so this is the examples. So NPN transistor, right, it is actually categorized in so sinking circuit and sourcing circuit are classified in two parts: NPN transistor and NPN and PNP. NPN transistor are open collector current sinking device, right? Current sinking device. So which is the current sinking device? Okay, so this one is the NPN. NPN transistor are open collector current sinking device which interface to the sourcing input module. Alright, sourcing input module. Right, in this case that this is the input module which act as a source. It is given current to the push button, right? So this is the NPN type. Okay, and next one is the in which push button is act as a source and input module act as a sink. So PNP transistor are open collector current source with interfacing sinking input module, right? In this case the input module is act as a sinking. Okay, so this was some important points. Okay, so remember this, all the points, revise these points. So it's because it's important in terms of your exams also. Okay, so mostly we have completed our first unit with some examples, right? So next video we will look some of the first unit part like output modules. Okay, output modules and how PLC operating cycle actually works. Relay output modules are there. Okay, relay output modules are there, advantages and disadvantages. PLC operating cycles are there. Okay, so types of PLC we have already explained. Classification of PLC, which are micro PLC, right, fixed PLC, modular PLC, okay, small PLC, how actually the input modules and output modules are selected, right? So 3 or 4 points are remaining. We will discuss all these points in our next video. With that with our next video we will actually completing our first unit completely. Okay, so thank you for watching.